Capricorn rising, it's your June 2023 astrological forecast. I'll make it quick here. I'll talk about 4 or 5 dates, some of the themes, and talk about an interesting, I would say, deeper narrative to all things. I'll start off with the date of June 3rd because we go right into the month with a full moon that happens in the seeking expansive sign of Sagittarius, a mutable fire sign that always is looking for something more, looking to be on the quest to something deeper, especially when it comes to thought and truth. And this particular lunation happens in the part of your chart that deals with how you go within and deal with your isolation, the things that come up in private places and meditative places, whether it's sorrow, grief, things you're afflicted by. Sometimes on the traditional end, this deals with like illnesses, chronic illnesses, and how we move through them. And this particular full moon illuminates this area and I think gives you the insight eventually to a higher vision, a higher truth, and incorporate it with your philosophy of how to process those types of things of dealing isolated and being exiled that you might feel, and the feelings and the situations and past stories that come up through those through that subject matter. So that happens there on June 3rd. When we get to June 5th, the planet Venus, which deals with love and relationships and how we deal with money and resources also and not acquire them, but how they come to us. This planet will go into the sign of Leo, a fire fixed sign. This is one of the biggest transits of the year, and the reason is because it is there from June all the way to October, and this is rare. It doesn't usually do this, and the reason is because Venus is going to go retrograde backwards in the sign of Leo in the middle of summertime. So it's got a long journey and a long story to go through. This happens in the part of your chart that deals with other people's resources, how you deal with intimate connections, and sometimes the resources connected to those intimate connections. Other people's resources can also represent the bank or other people outside of you that you have to find and hopefully have some gain by collaborating or working with them. Sometimes, too, in a more psychological end, it deals with some of the things that we fear and where we go into the shadow and deal with. Here, Venus, how you relate to those things and how you relate to other people's resources and possible resources will be going through a creative makeover through the whole transit in the summertime all the way to October. So this is a longer transit and a very important one. I will be talking more about this on a video that I will put up just on Venus and Leo and what it means in the important dates in June. So when we get to June 11th, Mercury, the planet that deals with this, talking, communicating, how our opinions, ideas, and thoughts are formulated and how we communicate them out, will be coming home to its sign of Gemini, where it flows, where it's quick, where it goes from point A to point B on multiple levels, able to handle multiple thought patterns. And this happens in the place in your chart that deals with your daily activities and how you do your service to yourself and to work. The little things, the little details is how Mercury will be dealing with this theme in that part of your chart. It's very important to think about, like, in a sense, the basic things of how you get through the day and what a to-do list and what little system you use to get through the day and how your mind deals and processes in that area. And how, in a sense, you think about those things and how you communicate those things. Now, this happens on the 11th. That day, an interesting thing happens, though. And Pluto, the planet of regeneration, eventually, the planet that likes to go into power struggles and find out what is not working anymore and eventually purge and make the poison rise up to the surface so it can be let go of, so regeneration can happen, will be going back into your sign of Capricorn. It was there from 2008 all the way to March of 2023 this year and went into Aquarius. Finally, we said, finally it left Capricorn, but it's not the end of the story. It is retrograde, and on that day, it enters back into the later degrees of Capricorn, your sign, all the way till the end of this year. It will go back into Aquarius in January of 2024. So, sorry to let you know, you have some more Pluto work to do in everything that your core identifying self, everything you went through from 2008 till then, all the power struggles, the life and death situations, the identity crises, the stories of how you deal with control and the anxiety or related to control, or all those types of Capricorn things that can get dark. Pluto, there's one last thing for you to figure out here from June until the end of this year. And I think you know what to do. I think you know some of the old themes that will come up and the solutions and the wisdom that you gained over all those years, you will be able to apply finally and then move through for good. Pluto will never enter your sign while you're alive again come next January. So June 18th, then we have a new moon that happens in the sign of Gemini. We're back into the place of how you deal with the little things, the small things, and how you do service in your life and how you do systems in your life. And sometimes those systems are related to your body and illness, and when those systems gets thrown off. But you have an invigorating new moon in Gemini that happens here. Mercury, as I said earlier in this video, has already kind of been the scout planet for you here of how you deal with the details and how you will look at things from multiple angles, multiple different ways of thinking and tweaking. And this new moon gives you an invigorating seed planting moment to set up a theme for the next 6 months in the area of this of your chart. So when we get to the next week on the 21st of June, the Cancer birthday starts. Summer starts in the northern hemisphere. Winter starts in the southern hemisphere. And if you didn't know this, Cancer is the opposite sign of you, the polarity sign of you, Capricorn rising, and starts to move and do its illuminating story in your relationship house. Several days later, on June 26th, Mercury will leave Gemini, that quick Gemini place, and enter in the safety and security and emotional sign that is Cancer, your opposite sign, which means it will be in the place of your chart that deals with partnerships and relationships in general. And a lot of emotional talking will be happening in this place for you in the end of June into July. There's going to be some real emotional conversations that start to brew up. And this is how it rolls. You have to learn a little bit of the Cancer language, which isn't Saturnian like you and the rules and boundaries and structure. It's about sensitivity and safety and how one emotionally processes in a safe place and the words that are said. If you like this monthly video and it's your first time here, hit the subscribe button. Go to my website, Sparkles of Gold. Check out the other videos on my channel. You'll see some of the other things I do. I do a live stream every month where people call in. I do their charts live on the air. I'll be doing that again in June. Again, Capricorn, thank you for watching. I always dig your seriousness, your stability, and your determination with building things. And I'll see you on the next video.